I haven't done this yet. So you like my picture in the back here? I designed these 7 years ago, 5 months. And I studied them. It's all birds. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I can tell a lot of stories. There's so many stories, but I just can't go and tell the stories. When I get the vibrations, it breaks down, I write it down, I tell it, and then eventually it becomes part of my path. Now what I was going to just tell you right now is God is only the vowels. The vowels total 51. But he's not you. So you'd have to take away the you. That would make it 21. It would be 30. Now God's not the hole in the wall. He owns the hole in the wall, but he's not the hole in the wall, the O. So now we must minus 15 from that. Now we have the I. And well, he is the I, but he's only half an I. Because without the other I, man on the earth, there is no I at all. So we'll take away 9. We're left with 6. Now we have the electronic world and the angels. And the answer to 0 is 6. Because 6 is to life, l'chaim, with one God, equals a total of 7. And you have 1 opposite 6, because that's the way it always will be. In order to get there, you got to have your back door watched as well as the front door. So we say, how does it work? A belongs to the angel of God. J owns the A, because A, B, C, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10, which creates the J. Now J and A are the same day. Now if he has J and A from A, B, C, D, now he owns everything from A to I, because he owns the 10. He owns the 9 birth with his one spirit, 9 and 1. After that we go into the 2 worlds. So then we have K. K owns the A. K is in the center, Jupiter, that splits between the 1 and 1 world, and that's why it's the 11th letter. With the A, K and A is 1, 1, 1, because K is the 11th, the 1 is 1. Now we go to H, which we skipped over. You spell H, but you don't hear the H, because it's if you don't mention the H at all in H, it spells ace, which is 135. My brain is pulsating. It's hard to go forward. I say this in all my tapes. I need backing. And the backing I need is not money. It's someone to see that I see. I can see. I can read. I believe I could because I know the numbers. If I look at the number and I'm wrong with the number, I'll look at it again and make it right. But what I was wrong, we'll tell the other part of the story of how it connected on the other side of my mind. When you go to a psychiatrist and he tells you to look at things and tell you the first thing you think, because that's the way it is, you're reconnecting to the other world. So you have H, okay, which is Chet, okay, which is also in the Hebrew language for heaven. They're both the same. And then after that you have R. So you have the first A, you have H, the 8A, you have K, the third A, you have J, J, the third A, you have K, the fourth A, and you have R, the fifth A. A, H, J, K, R. Since it's the A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, it's the joker. You put the ER instead of the AR, because it's fifth, it's in the E world, electronic. The R comes from the other world. That's why 666 is so scary to the evil ones, and us, we don't understand it. But in our world, it's L and F, Father, Mother, and the Son. L is 1, 2, 12. F is 6 for 18. So now you have had a joker, 1, 8, 10, 11, and 18, in which the J, in which the K, the 11th letter, and the H, both in the same family. Total 19, that is the moon cycle. J and R, total 29, and that's the birth in the moon cycle. Once every 4 years, they add a day off to February. Makes it 29. 229 worlds, 58, standing for alphabet. I'm not going to explain the numbers. The totals here now, if I take the R and put it with the A, I have 19, and that's the cycle of the moon. But if I take the J10 plus the H8 and the 1A, that equals to the 19 of the sun. Every one of these numbers are calculated to the sun. Now I'll add them up. 29, 39, 40, the total is 48. 48 minus 1 for the spirit, which is the first one, the first A that created everything else, equals to 47. 4774 is 121. It's the number of Christ. It's the number of the clock in the sky. Another thing is, sometimes we use this as a vowel, so God inherits the Y. The Y turns into a V. If he takes the line and turns it sideways on here, on that V will become a K. And that's how he's going to create. So Y and A, say yeah. You put it with the M, EM, because the E is before the M. Okay, so it's A is before, E is before. Yeah, M, I love you. The month of M-A-Y, 13, 14, and 25 equals 39. 39 divided by 3 is 13, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6. That to tell you that this world is T, the transfer of this world. It's on free parking. The planet is 20. Free parking or New York, because the 20th spot in Monopoly is New York, but the 20th dice is free parking. 19 is the moon. 19 is New York on the dice. The 19th position is Tennessee, the music, the motion of the ocean, of the vibrations from the sky. I've read the numbers. According to the numbers, and I don't know these things, there's an 8.2 magnitude earthquake coming during the World Series, after the 7th inning or during the 7th inning stretch. Because during and after the 7th inning stretch, you would have played 13 innings of offense baseball, in which there would have been 39 outs at that time. When they sing, T, take me out of this ball game, take me out of the earth. T, O, T, me, O, O, B, G. $20, 33 of Christ. 15, 15, 15, 45. 5 and 4 is 9. 45 plus 20 is 65, plus 13 is 78. 78 in cards reaches the queen. 78 plus the G is worth 7, is 85. 85 is the number of the matrix. The reason it's the number of the matrix, okay, is because of X and O and how it goes. I'm showing you these numbers here. This is silver Mercedes. Mercedes is a 120-degree angle. If you put 2 of them, you make the mug and dove it. 2 and 8 is 10, 5 and O is 10, X and O equals 25, X Roman numeral 10, O letter in the alphabet 15. O in the alphabet 15, and we add it to this to bring it to 100%. At this one, we bring it to 110% for the body and the mind. The letters in the alphabet divide. M, S, F, all the E before, they all belong to the same area. There's 3 places and 4. The 4th corner is the service area for the other worlds. We get a 3rd, and they get 3rd. We have 3 strings, and they get 3 strings, except 2 strings and 2 strings are the same. 1 string and 1 string are different, because the marriage is on the other hand. So that's why we get 2 out of 3 dentists. Or, if it was the big world has 4 and 4 arms. He goes into world 1 with 3 arms, and then he goes into the other world with 3 arms. But then there has to be one arm that goes 258 in your telephone, which is 13, 13, 13, that goes all the way around the world and wraps the Christ and wraps the ball to connect all the 8 tentacles of the octagon. Nibiru, number 39. Saints, number 39. 1, 6 on your dice is opposite, 7. 2, 5 is opposite center of the telephone, 7. 3, 4 is opposite, and 3 and 4 plus, 3 and 4 minus equals 101. 3 minus 4, 4 minus 3, 101. That's the life man lived, between 1 and 1. He goes from minus 1 to 0, and then he goes from 1 to 0. 9 he thinks on one side, 9 he thinks on the other side. But the 0 is who he's talking to. So he's 18, and the 0's work 2. And we're in the 2 worlds, and we got to get at the corner so we know which way we want to go. Because when there's a fork in the road, and he throws you a fork ball, you better be fast and you better be smart, because a fork ball ain't like a fastball. It moves from positions. The coordinates of the air, the baseball, created by God to move the way it does. The manipulation by the tendons and the finger that feel the right way while he has his hand behind his back. He has absolutely no idea what happens. He can't see anything, yet he holds the ball. He doesn't even look into his pitch. The odd time he will if he's unsure, then you know he's going to have a difficult time. If any pitcher looks into his mitt after he's taken the ball, then you know he's not balanced. He has to play with the ball before he puts it in his mitt. And he has to play with it in his mitt. So his mitt in his hand, so his 2 hands of his 2 sides are well balanced, and now he's ready to throw the ball. Picks up the rosin bag to relax his mind so he can grasp the baseball field. Because he's a baseball player. That's what he came to do. He wanted to be a baseball player. See what they go through, all these baseball players? All kinds of money, everybody in the world, and 1 million divorces. Anyways, the other thing is, okay, the 2 dice, okay, ends at K, 11, and L, 12. K, 1, 1, and 12, 1, 2 would be 1, 1, 1, 2. So, why am I doing that? Because you have to do the last 3 on the first 2 dice, numbers, totals. Then you have to add the M to it, because when you add A to the 12 at the end to close it off on the outside, you get M, which would be 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. After that, it's 1, 4, 1, 5. And now we start into the numbers of pi of 3.14159265. Now let me just mark this because I need to write. Come on, I need to write. Fuck, 100 pens and I can't find one. I need to write. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, M. 1 plus 12 equals 13M. This is K, E, L. When you put 11 and 12 together, the letters say Kel, which means which. Which one? Are you the 12 and closing the door? Are you going to be the spirit in the front or spirit in the back? Which one, it asks. Now, 1, 1, 1, 2 equals 5. If it equals 5, I know right away to enter it under Fahrenheit and see what the Celsius is on the other side. I'm going to take a look, see where the Celsius is. Looking. Okay, 1112 Fahrenheit equals 600 Celsius. Isn't that funny? 6 omega. O times O is 225. 225 times 6 is 1200, 1350. Do you know anything about 1350? 1350. It's the bar mitzvah. It's when you reach that age and you're halfway between the moons, you're almost all the way in. At 26, you're all the way in because you did the whole alphabet. One more year at 27, which is the Rubik's Cube. N letter, the first center Rubik's Cube, and the second Rubik's Cube, you add 27 to it. The 27 is in between the 2 letters of the alphabet. You add the Y to it. Since there's a division in between Z and A, you put a 0 between it because it's a bubble, it's a float, and it's a passage. The end is whether the air goes up or down. Up above the earth is an icicle so big that it covers the earth and more. Above the icicle is God. When He wants it to rain, He makes it rain. When He wants it to snow, He makes it snow. He lives up there because the icebergs fall down here to feed us with the water and the spirit. When it rains, the rain goes up and makes the clouds, but there's more to the clouds. There's the spirit angle of the clouds, which is like a sus. It sucks in and it blows out. It sucks in and it blows out, and it mixes the two airs together from the other world. This air we're in is not safe. We're under salt water and lake water in this world. One is murky. One gives you the ion, the electricity. Brings out the shark in you. Put a little salt on things. It salts up everything. So if I go to 1,113 Celsius, and let me go back to the thing. Anyway, you've got to look Celsius and Fahrenheit, okay, because one is 600, the other one is 600 plus 5555. That means between 12 and 13, instead of ending at 600 and everything is over, at 1350, 1, 3, and 5, that's right. That's right, that's right. 600, the zeros are worth 15 each. When you multiply them, it's 225. That was the first cycle of God, the first 225 years. That's why the Hebrew calendar is missing 225 years. We're actually in the year 5798. In 2 years, we are at the end of the 6,000 years of the Jewish calendar. The 600 degrees, whether it's Fahrenheit or Celsius, you want the 600.55 degrees of Fahrenheit and Celsius, but the 15 times 15 is 225. 225 times 6 is 1200, 1350. Forget about the zero. 50 is the passage. The O, when you see the O, it's worth 15 again. It's the egg. You're inside an egg and you're going through the passage like going down Niagara Falls. The 1350 is the A, the first letter. The 5 is the E, the fifth letter, which are the first and last spirit on the dice cube. And then the inside between the two is the C. On each side is B and D. The bed of man, A1, C3, E5, spells the word Ace Omega. Omega, the word, is the Mediterranean. And this world is in for a shock. Because I can't know anything at all, but I know a lot. I know a lot more than all. I know things that when I think, I start to know it. So I'm sharing it, because it's not for me. It came into this world, I got it for free. I paid the price of bipolar, but I broke into the other side. They gave me so many pills that I didn't know if I was up or down. And all of a sudden, when I started, and I said to the doctor, this is it, I says, I can't live like this anymore. The computer says maximum 600. Then it said 800. Then 10 years later, it said 900. Then 10 years later, it said 1100. You're giving me 1500. I'm way ahead of the schedule, because the elements of the Illuminati and the takeover of the world are changing our minds. They're feeding us with things that are no good. Cocaine, Coca-Cola. Cocaine, they cut it because they didn't want it to be good. But Jamaican smoke candy, candy cane cocaine. Spearmint sticks and candy canes. Sweets to make you think. The drugs that grow on the earth, that are misused, and then become illegal, and they bar us all. 6 and 6 is barred in the game of craps. In life, they bar us by the laws. The laws are the walls, the same word backwards. In French, it's loi, L-O-I, which is oil. Every letter of every word in every shape connects to each other and gets a number. And it climbs, and the words come in, and the commas come in, and the exclamation points come in to tell another story from another world, because each letter comes from a different world. And then they're matched up with the A, E, I, O, and U. Except the O is very funny. Because the O, the only way for the O and anybody to get to this world is to have the beta creation number 23. The O, number 15, is A and E. The O, listen to the sounds. I-O, I-O-U. The last vowels, and O is OW, beta creation of the egg. W23, O15 is 38, 38 times 3 is 114, divided by 2 is 57, which is 3 cycles and 3 cycles of the moon. 6 moons, 114 days, 333, the pig's pregnancy, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, 114 days. Counting at 30 per month, because in creation you count at 30. 30, 30, 30. The fourth 30, the fourth corner, belongs to God of the seventh gate. And he's the last 30 days as September, April, June, and November. Because it starts with God in September, the 9th month, and it ends with God in November, the 11th month. 9/11. If you want to know how strong the numbers are, come and ask me, and I'll tell you a story. But I know nothing until you tell me your story. So I can think of your story and go for the vibrations. And once I get the vibrations, I can tell you what I see. And only then can I answer you if I interpret it well. For now, Raphael 7286, we are into the soon coming into the 10th moon, the 11th moon. 11, 12, 13. In the 12th moon, it will be 336 in days. 29 days before January 1st, December 2nd. So now you have to go 14 days forward to December 16th. So between the 16th and the 21st is what is supposed to be the change. But still, like I said at the beginning, I did some reading today, and in my reading in Revelations, I saw an earthquake of 8.2 on the Richter scale. I saw a bridge near the Mississippi, reminding me of the Cardinals, and the Cardinal Pope, and the Washington Nationals, or Washington Freedom, the freedom of the President, the liberty. Ron Paul, revolution, never happened before in our lives. 336 in the 11th moon. 33 of Christ, 3 and 3 is the sixth man that it creates. The next moon is 3, 6, and 4. 3 times 64 is 192. And 92 is beta in this world and the births that come with it. You can look at the B cards and see stuff. You can read the cards. I don't know the cards completely, but I'm starting to see the Mayan Sanskrit. There's something that I found in the Sanskrit that all around the Sanskrit it shows 5s. And then all around the Sanskrit, I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then all around the Sanskrit on the outside is this: 5, 7, 9. It's like this. It goes all the way around. It's either 5, 3, 1. I mean, it's either 5, 1, 3, which would be the other world, or it would be 5, 7, 9, which would be this world. 12 on one side, 14 on the other, 26, and you got the alphabet. 7 and 9 is 16. You have 16, the opposite sides of the dice. 9 times 7 is 63. 63 is the creation of the letter R, the R-angel robot that came here to save the land. R, the letter R, carries his own moon. He carries the sound of the A. The 18th letter and 1A is 19. The cycle of the moon is carried into the robot, the iRobot angel, of all those children who are born under the letter R, H, J, K, all of them. But the ones with H must carry a heavy spirit and a heavy burden, because you don't even hear the H. All you hear is the ACE at the H, and it says H. J comes before A, which is God himself, as 10 and 1. The same thing for the K. That's why the only letters that is free in the whole alphabet is the letter R, is 666, but is only noted as 66 equaling L, the 12th letter, and 6R for Abba and Ima. 9 times 6 is 63. 9 and 6 is 16. It's an eternal number. It repeats itself. Times 5 is 395. 395 from 595 to 3 is over here. The olive tree. 3 of creation. 3, 9, 5, but 7 already connects with 3. So now this whole corner is man's 1/4 of life, plus the 1 life he lives, plus the 7/5 of the moon, equals to 2. Man's number, 2. But he's not 2, he's 6, because he has his alter ego 2, and he has the 2, which is the earth that he lives on, and that talks with the moon, and the moon is worth 2, so that makes 2, 4, 6, well, sorry, the earth and the moon, a 2 and 2 equaling to 8, that includes the moon as being Venus. That's why she has no moon herself, because she's in the moon already inside this earth. And inside this earth is spirit, and that's Mercury, and he doesn't need a moon because he's already inside. And he shows up through the angel R as the 18th letter, plus he carries the A1 for the 19th cycle of the moon. He carries his own moon. Penguins and evil men standing up in black and white suits, no arms to really flap, and all they do is hop around. How would you like to go to your second life that way? The Christ, she's a-coming. Is the world going to turn? I don't know, but my numbers tell me that Nostradamus was right. My numbers tell me that the Mayans are right. My reading of the Mayan Sanskrits tell me that my numbers are right. And what I read put to my numbers tell me the end of the world as we know it. The conscious mind is coming in, and it's been in me for the last 7 years. And I've never felt better, but I'm very tired and pushed and pushed. I'm told when to eat, what to eat, how much to eat. Now I'm used to it. I barely eat at all. But when I do eat, I eat fish. I eat the right fish. And at the same time, I need the salts. I need the salts. You know what this is? It's anchovies. We're all whales. We need to eat the salt, the little anchovies. And it has to drip down right here, because your chin splits. The point is right here. The Indians show the red point through the jaw that causes you trouble because it opens and closes. Either it opens too much and closes too much, it doesn't chew enough, it doesn't brush his teeth, the teeth fall out, the vibrations are no good. You grow the beard, the hair touches both sides, then it takes both sides, and now both sides of your head are connected on your chin. And it's a pivotal point. The pivotal point sends it down here. You see these little corners here? These are triangles. It splits it between your heart and your arm. And it goes right through your nuts. Man made man to have sex. Because if he didn't have sex, 85 years after he started the world, it would have ended. Because there were no babies born. So I guess we have to look at some things another way. But for now, if you have any questions, please. I'm here for anybody and everybody. I'll help you with whatever you need, as long as we're in it for everybody and not just ourselves. This is not a profitable thing. I didn't come here for profits. And I'm not going to make anybody any money, because money has no value anymore. Even if you own all the silver in the world, it has no value if you have no food. I come here to bring you the food of thought. 7 years and 41 years of 2005. December will mark 777 of the coming of whatever was in my mind. But whatever was in that day has never left, and it's only stronger. 7 years from May 5th, 2005 to December 21st. 7 years, 7 months, 16 days. The one spirit of the sixth man, 666, one spirit, 19, he owns the moon. I've broken through that spell. But that doesn't mean I can tell you the 649 numbers or any stories that you want, because they tell me, if you ask me something and they don't want to, and I hear it, they're going to hear it, and I'm going to try and answer, And maybe they won't let me answer because it's not on the right subject. So I'm going to have to say, well, I don't know. I can't think about it. It's not right. But I'm going to come up. The response won't be that. It will be a complete explanation of how I cannot and the reason why not to, based on how God sees things and not on how I see things. Because this is not about me. This has nothing to do with me. It is us and all. USA, us and all. When New World Order was announced, I had a vision, and it hasn't stopped. And neither will I, because I have the head of a bull and the mind of putty. So I can play with anything, and if it doesn't work, well, big deal. Throw it away. Don't harp on things, because if you harp on things, things will get worse. And then HAARP came into the world to make everything worse, controlling the moon cycles and rising the oceans until Louisiana hits a tsunami. But now it's God's turn because man has burnt out the 10 plagues. And the 10 plagues end on the 10th moon or the 40th week of the year. The last 12 weeks, God is in cycle. He is the bear. He is the scepter bear. He is the octagon bear. He is the November to remember bear. And as he is the disintegrating bear of December, the 12th month of the Queen. The only reason December is there is because the Queen came to town. And now she's in England. And it's all going to split apart, and her island is going to go far away. She never hooked her island up to the rest of us because she wasn't hooked up with us to start with. In her world, she was far, far away. And everything she did was only to take advantage of everybody because she was the queen and it was her home. And she was very lonely because nobody wanted to visit her. One of the islands, one of the poor islands of the queen. She was rich because she had everything. She had the island, but she had nothing at all except for the few slaves that fed her the food. And she was happy just to get a little bit like a mouse. And now she took over the world. And the mouse she runs is controlling of the communications center of this planet. The Vega card that is in, if I remember, Lake Mead, Hoover Dam. I can see Hoover Dam running into an earthquake of 8.2 on the scale, and then a couple of little explosives on it shoot the whole dam down. They go there for excavation and to clean, but nobody looks as they're digging into the ground looking for the Vega card. But they'll never find it. They wouldn't know what it looked like. Because even the earth communicates with the moon, and the moon communicates with God. And we were put here by the Father until the term of death, from 25 to life. Why 25? Because the month of May is in the center, 1379 are all the corners, God owns them all. The total of that is 25. He owns the X and O, that's 25. He owns the first quarter. And he's only the visitor. He owns the second quarter. The Queen owns the third quarter, and man owns the fourth quarter. Because man is the home team, and liberty will win. Raphael 72:86. The Reverend of the Revolution of Ron, who pulls his weight as Paul, is a two-man operation because Paul was a disciple and he has come to relive again his second life of the coming of Christ. Thank you.